Streaming. So hello to anybody who's waiting, and if you're not waiting, well, you're not here, so we don't care about you too much. So this is Graveyard Keeper, which, as the title suggests, is a slightly grimmer Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town, is probably my favourite game of all time. Unfortunately, because it has no plot, goes on forever, and there's things you can do in the game, but they take a while. It's a slow, gradual build-up. It's not a do X to do Y to do Z to finish the game style of game, and therefore I have never Let's Played it. This one I encountered a little while ago, and it does have a plot. There is actually an end, as far as I can tell, and while that end may be a long way off, that means that, by my definitions, this game can be Let's Played. So we're going to play through Graveyard Keeper, version 1.1.2.1, with the Breaking Dead title on it. So, plot. Because we demand plot. Played a couple of playthroughs, not gotten too far into it, but enough so I know what I'm doing for the first maybe 2 weeks of gameplay time, which will be mostly just setting up my industries, getting the graveyard up and running. It's an ordinary day. Our hero is hurrying home, where someone very important is waiting for him. Even in everyday routine, there's a place for loving and feeling loved. Especially when you know that someone misses you. There's also a time and a place for looking before you cross roads. And thus, we are here. Merely turn a page in your life. A whole new chapter awaits you ahead. Can I go home? There's always a way to get home. Your new home is a graveyard. I don't want to go to a new home. And thus, yeah, we get hit by a car and suddenly we're a graveyard keeper. That is the plot. Dig up Jerry. He will explain everything. So, we now have to go and find Jerry. Start of the game, we can do a lot of things. There's no stamina meter until we get a little far into this. But we basically have a chest with no inventory. We have a cooking stand, which we can cook some berry juice, but we have no ingredients. Chest, and a cellar we can't get into just yet. Off we go. Welcome to the place. But we can put wood logs, and also the place for stones. We'll go through a bit of this a little later. Come on, Mordecai, how are we doing? It's been a while since I've heard from you. How's things going, mate? Meanwhile, we'll dig up the skull. Holy sod, I'm a skull! This comes as a bit of a shock to him, but you know. This is Jerry. Remember, Haridai told me to go and dig up Jerry. That doesn't answer his question at all. Who are you and where the sod are we? I remember that sound. Let's go check it out. So that bell means that a corpse has been dropped off. Yeah, I have changed to something more interesting. Going around with a talking skull that I can't call Yorick. Now, Yorick is a talking skull who was kind of always the bugbear of mine in every one of my playthroughs thus far, but he cannot be called Yorick for two reasons. One, he's called Jerry. Secondly, well, there's another character called Yorick. Also, this is a character I can talk to who is a donkey. Talking donkey. Who is definitely not inspired by certain other farming-based books about animals. Although this one is a little more self-aware than the donkey in that one. You're humiliating. You know where I'm going, comrades. Master pretends he doesn't understand anything I'm saying. You need to go back to the town. Unfortunately, I've had one thing about this game spoiled for me. I know you cannot actually get to the town, which is a shame, really, because I was sort of planning that for my first original run through of this game. But I'll explain the town as it comes off there. Anyway, this is going to be profitable. We're going to do what the skull says and pick up a corpse. Since it's been dropped off here, and we're going to go into the morgue. Nope, I'm going to apparently drop the corpse. Ah, I get how that feels. Put the body on the autopsy table. Then what's next? Slice some flesh from the corpse. That would be good for starters. No way. This isn't right. Sure, it's not right. How could I forget? Maybe some talking skull with amnesia. Is it right you don't know where you are? Is it right that I'm a skull? Nothing is right here. So go and carve some flesh off that body. I just need to trade the meat in the village tavern for a beer, and then I, the talking skull that never lies, will solve all your problems once you give the talking skull a beer. We'll also get some initial technologies and things, but we'll worry about that a little later once we get into this. I'll explain also how body and autopsies work a bit later, but for now, we're going to extract some flesh from this body. We now have some flesh. Also some green points, which I'll explain later as well. We also, from extracting this meat, know how to make burgers, sandwiches, and baked meat. You'll get used to it. We will. We will get used to it. So what should I do with the corpse? I don't know. Let's bury it. I've done the bit I was interested in. Totally sane and sanitary indeed. Okay. Yep, take body. There we go. Right, now let's go and bury it. As you can see, here we have a rather decrepit and rather beaten up looking graveyard. Also, we'll dump you down there for the moment. Let's bury it! So we can use the blueprint desk to basically go and build some things. What we want to build is a gravesite, and we'll build that one there. And we will then dig it up with the shovel we got. Our first tools. We will inter the corpse, and then we will bury the corpse. This gives us a burial certificate. This is how we earn money in the initial phases of the game. This burial certificate. I remember. Money. Alcohol. Go get me a beer. I do like Jerry. I'll be honest. He's totally conning me, but I like him. Also, hello, Debbie. I don't think the skull's Debbie, by the way. All you have to do is slice some meat off of it and you'll suddenly know how to make burgers. And baked meat. Oh, Keeper, there you are. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but your graveyard is a mess. Well, I'm sorry, I've only been in this world for about 2 minutes. No way I promoted you to cleric until you fix it. So basically now we get this sort of thing. Now as the graveyard is a bit decrepit and worn down, we have to upgrade it in order to achieve certain marks. Also, we can now make wooden markers. Once graveyard quality is at least 5, he will promote us. The graveyard quality begins at -20 something. He comes here every... I forget what... There's a formal name for the days, and I can never remember what they are. I just call this Priest Day because I know that's the symbol for the priest turning up. He will turn up once every 6 days in the week. So now we have a new task, which is to go and grab this certificate and... because of the ancient treaty, get some money. Where is it about the town? Well, the town is Harkalur's land. The palace, the cathedral, everything is there. We can't go there. You can see it for yourself. But in those clothes, that'd be rather funny. I'm gonna get to the town. Not far from the village, just head south from tavern. They won't let us in. And supposedly, even if you do find a way in, you just get zapped and then put back into the village. So, go east from the graveyard gate along the Old Stone Road. No more questions. So if we can actually get the +5, we can go and get +10 relationship points with the keeper, with the priest, and that'll get us there. We now know a few more technologies, which we'll go into later. So now we're actually into game time. So we have various points that we need to accrue in order to research various things, but we'll get those in ways that I'll explain later. For now, let's go and grab all of these. Wood repair kits, stone repair kits, and some more basic tools. So we can now use those to extract things. We're not going to bother fixing any of the graveyard yet. We're going to go and get Jerry his beer. Because that is clearly the most important thing we could be doing right this moment. There's also, as far as I know, not a run button, so we have to go here at normal speed. The little window in the upper left will tell us what time of day it is. I don't think day-night actually affects the game too much from what I've worked out thus far, but it's still there. It marks the passage of time on a 6-day week. And every day, one of these purple days anyway, the priest will be there. So we pass through the wheat farm, and we will eventually pass into the village itself. So, welcome to the village. We're interested in one place for the moment, and that's the tavern. Because why would we not be interested in the tavern? It's called the Dead Horse, by the way, because amusing. Not in a good mood. Go away. Well, that's very nice of him to say. I've only been in this town 4 minutes. Arr, bad luck, not today. Not today, indeed. You, however, will talk to us. Miss Chain. How did you know? Well, as long as I have, you probably learn to read people too. Better manners. I'm Mrs. Chain, Horadrick's wife. Well, you better talk to my husband. He's in charge around here. He's also the elected head of the village. And he really likes to talk. Now, she can sell us recipes. I haven't really gotten too much into that. So I'll find out how useful those are later, I'm sure. Came in the graveyard. I woke up here today, and things have been crazy since then. Indeed they have. Good, this is good. It's looking bright for our small village. Somebody can finally bury all the bodies. Fix the graveyard first. How can I help you? I'd like to trade you some fresh meat, because we want a beer. Meat is delicacy down village. I'll be glad to buy it, but first I need to see the royal meat stamp. New task, gain the stamp. There was an accident with inappropriate meat. Ever since, all meat must be approved by authority. I mean, it's not as if somebody's just stripping them from corpses and then giving it to people. No. I don't even want to know where you get unauthorized meat, but wow, it looks good. Yeah, we may end up eating that later, just FYI. But now he's going to tell us that somebody who can get us a stamp so that we can stamp our meat as official. And definitely from a source that isn't a human corpse that we've just sliced some things off. Yep, pretty much. Alright, about this burial certificate. According to the ancient contract, he has to give us money if we give him burial certificates. Which is just a bit of convenience, really. How can I get a town pass? By the way, joke. It's rather complicated. Not a single villager has one. The Inquisitor can grant a town pass, or we can purchase citizenship. One villager who got a town pass, Miss Charm. She can probably help us. Do you know how I can get back home? We're at the dead horse. It's medieval. Maybe I travel through time. What year is it now? What do you mean year? Well, you know, this is, as I said, this is unlike an actual gravekeeping job in many ways. Everybody knows the Earth is flat. It's 204 after the ancient contract. What's the name of our beloved kingdom? The Kingdom, which is extremely helpful. I'm not Sweeney Todd. I haven't done anything yet. I'm also not a barber. Okay, so we can sell the ancient contract. That gives us 1 silver and 50 copper. By the way, that is riches in this world at the moment, although we still can't really buy a lot. Okay, so next we go over to the blacksmith, who will... Oh, actually, while we're here, we are going to go and harvest... Oh, I can't do that yet. Unless I have the technology for it. Nope, I know nothing about farming in nature yet, so I can't harvest berries. Yep, we are now actually married. Have been for a month and a bit now, 6 weeks, I think. Hey, what are you staring at? Thank you very much. May I ask who you are? Fortunately, I'm the local blacksmith. Unfortunately, of course. There, you're welcome, Mordecai. Alright, we will give him the letter. This gives us +10 relationship points with the blacksmith. And madam, indeed. Sir and madam. Get it right. Slimes again. Horadric has asked me to get rid of them. But I can't be bothered, so I'm going to make you do it for tutorial purposes. So now we have a sword, and now we can go and hunt down some slimes! We will have to fight some slimes as we go on from this, but for now, we're going to leave. Now, the slimes normally spawn just up here. There we are. Oh, did I not... Nope, I need to actually... Yeah, there we go. Better do this reasonably quickly. There we go. Alright. Battle. Slimes are killed. Nah, I still got a few bits and pieces to sort out on that regards at the moment. So I'm still in the UK. Debbie is still in America until we get some legal stuff sorted out. Right. Where do we find metal ore? Which is a swamp to the north, but we already know about that. Okay, we now have an additional blueprint. We can also grab ourselves some simple iron parts, but we'll try and avoid doing that for the time being. Look, it's a career! I've just been dumped in this crazy world. This is what they want me to do. What am I gonna say? No? I've been told this will get me home. Have a beer. It's on the house. Yay, we have a beer without having to give anybody any meat. We could also sell it back, but actually we could kind of do with getting on Jerry's good side. So, in we go. Back to the town. For the moment, yes. I think it's on par with his level of sanity. Indeed. There are teleport stones that allow me to move around a lot faster, but I can't afford one because I'm still in the tutorial. So we'll have to worry about that a little later. Psst, come here. Hey, Jerry. Where have you been? Everything's okay with me appearing out of nowhere. So, just stealing my thoughts. Stealing. Remember, there's a cellar in your cottage. Some vision was stored there. There are. We now get new technology, so we can now gather from berries. I don't know why that... Oh, yeah. And he remembers something about food. He's a talking skull that wants food. How can I get home? It was rhetorical. Do I look like a magical head with answers? Yes. Okay, so he's waiting for the beer. We will give him the beer. Okay, Jerry, where's my beer? Give him a beer. Plus 20. See, the States say that, not the UK. What is wait a minute? I need something stronger. I need better booze. I should be more careful. So what was your question? I have questions. How can I get home? Easy. Use the portal on Witch Hill. Brexit hasn't actually happened yet and could still be cancelled at the last minute. It's an amusing mess, but if nothing else, it's proving why nobody should get into politics. I mean, kind of... Our Prime Minister was kind of doomed anyway in terms of how things went, but, you know, anybody who thinks that dealing with with the EU is easy is, you know, mistaken. And getting any kind of deal agreed is probably an achievement in and of itself, even though it's not being done there. We're talking about the lighthouse at the moment. There's just a few other people we will talk to later. Right, let's exit. So now we're sort of in the bit of the game where we can actually start doing some stuff. And the first thing we want to do is to clear out our home. So this is our home territory, and we are now going to start earning some points. So we have 3 types of points: red, green, and blue. Red is basically industry, so we'll get those from doing things which help our industry, so producing wood, producing materials, making things, extracting more materials. Each of these things will give us stuff and things. Green is for nature points. So anything associated with nature that we extract, we will get green points for. As we build these up, we can unlock various technologies, and the first thing we'll want to get unlocking is probably a bit of the extraction tech. So we'll want to get the ability to extract blood and fat, and I'll explain why when we get to the next corpse. So for the moment, it's just going to be a case of grabbing a few raw materials. While it's raining and miserable, because this is truly the Gravekeeper's life. Okay, 9 and 8. And we'll start chopping down some trees. We need the technology to chop that tree down. Let's chop this tree down. Okay, and chop this one down. Wood's one of the important resources early on. And we'll dig that up as well. We don't really want the mushroom at this stage. We'll get that later. We can also dig this out of our own territory as well. Because we can build facilities on these, we want to clear our own area out reasonably quickly. Okay, so after that, we want to... Can't chop that down. Can't chop that down, can't chop that down. Can probably chop this down. Okay, we extracted 1 mushroom. I didn't particularly want that mushroom, but we don't now anyway. Alright, not enough. We're also approaching daytime, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drink these 2 potions. Because we want to keep going until we've got everything useful. Okay. Get that along with... There we go. I'm just trying to save myself a little bit of time by making sure I drag all the resources with me. And, you know, they're not putting them in the log pile. Okay. So we can now do this. This is going to be important for various bits and pieces we might want to do, but that's probably the only one we want for the right now. Important parts maybe later. Farming and nature. Nope, it's smithing. And building. So we can build this. This is the next sort of major thing we want to have done. This will allow us to use those logs to build proper materials. So sawhorse, which will go there. So we plan to build there. We're going to put the build there. And then we're going to start using some of these logs we've made. As long as the resources are in the right place, we can just use them without having to worry about that. So let us go and add one of those. One of those. Chocolate is great. Chocolate is life. This is possibly true. So as we produce things, we are going to gain more industry points. And we'll go and make some of these as well, because we will need them. And we're about to run out of energy again. Okay. So we're basically out of energy at this point. But we're not out of stuff we can do. He says. Actually, I might well be out of stuff I can do. Alright, let's have a quick snooze. Only a quick snooze. We don't really want to go and do that. I'm so refreshed, having done basically nothing. Also, this is not good. Not good at all. Who do you think you are? I'm the new graveyard keeper. Hooray! A kipper! Oh, I've been here for, how long? I'm Yorick, which is why I can't call the skull Yorick. Because this is Yorick. It's so lonely, poor, poor me. It's too bad you're here. Wait, no, on the contrary, I'm very good to see you. A rather unpleasant fellow buried here. We'd really like to have a new neighbor instead. That sound like something you can help us with? I'm not really sure why I'm here, actually. Jerry only told me about burying buddies. You're Yorick, and he's Jerry. Funny. Oh, the half-dead skull, that jealous bastard. You can only dream of what a peaceful rest we're having. Oh, my kidding, it's terrible here, especially the guy down the lower right grave. He's so mean. Could you just get rid of him? Dig him up and throw him in the river. I can give you this license I stole back when he's alive. So this is basically an exhumation license, which we're not going to bother with just yet. We need some more sleep. Alright, that'll do. So it's midday. We'll use up the rest of the energy we've got and sort some bits and pieces out. So let's continue working on this. There we go. Alright, wooden billets in. Additional bits and pieces. We'll hear a bell when we hear the corpses being dropped off, so we will get some fair warning about that. So now we can have a look at improving the graveyard. As you can see, it is negative 29. And we can kind of improve that by doing this. Exhuming the grave. Depressingly, this is actually one of the better corpses. And then we're going to dump him in the river. Because, why not? There we go. Nothing bad can happen from this. What do you think you're doing here? Ghost asked me to get rid of the body. That's clearly a sane answer, even if I'm talking to a talking skull. So what, you're just going to do everything he asks? Well, he can do anything to you, he's disembodied. Whereas I can bite you to death while you're sleeping. Jerry makes a fair point. We will obey the skull rather than the blue ghost thing. Best way to get rid of bodies is to burn it. So basically, there's technology that will allow me to burn corpses. The river leads somewhere into the town, which of course doesn't exist, so we don't have to worry about it. Right, what we will do while we're here is actually clear up a bit of the graveyard as well. Gain a few more technology and nature points. And also improve the graveyard quality a little bit until we get into the 20s. And also get ourselves a few sticks. We'll need those for burning things. Okay. So that will do to start with. Next up, let's go and Usually if corpses are going to be dropped off, it'll be dropped off at dawn. So let's think what else I can do here. Do I have enough technology points for anything else at this point? So we can go make firewood, which isn't too useful. We can go and get mining set up, actually. So that should allow us to go and extract some iron from up here, where we'll also find some slimes. Oh, that was actually stone. Whoops. I'm actually going to avoid that place for the moment just because... What are we crafting here? Stone garden. No, we're not interested in stone garden right now. I suppose we just chop down another tree or just go to bed since it's already late. Yeah, we'll go to bed since it's late. We'll go and find some iron tomorrow. Alright, sleeping at night. This is very Stardew Valley-ish. In fact, this is, as I say, it's a slightly grimmer Harvest Moon. As I said during the intro when I think nobody was here, Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town is my favourite game of all time, but it's just not Let's Playable. This, in theory, has a plot, so this is. Much more perverse version. It is! God, it's much nicer at the graveyard without him at the graveyard. I'm so sad, though. I'm so lonely. I was bad when I was alive. I should have been a better person. You were here. Indeed you were, sir, and we appreciate that. Yeah, they are. Friends of Mineral Town is by far the best of them that I've played, but which is the first one on the Game Boy Advance, just for reference on that one. But I do like the Harvest Moon games. So basically, he's kind of mentioning now about the skull system when we get to corpses. We'll worry about that when the next corpse turns up. You could technically cheat in all of them, I think. Alright, let's go and get some more wood. And some more stone. Let's build up some more industry points. Build up a few more bits and pieces. Toss that along there. And dib. Okay, so we have some wood for the time being. Let's go and get ourselves some iron, because our next main goal is to get our stuff upgraded. There's an iron deposit. Well, this is why I like Friends of Mineral Town, because I basically just played it a little bit at a time. Alright, 6 iron ore. Let's get one more, and then that should do us for that, for the time being. Those slimes appeared out of nowhere. Not happy with that. We're not too interested in fighting them. It's just going to cost us... just going to cost us too much stamina at this point, so let's avoid. What we can do, though, is dig this up. So there's various root tangles, which basically provide you a ton of nature points. There we go. We're up to another 7 there. I think there's one more up here somewhere that we can use. Failing that, this is where we get the large stone blocks. And also where I can pick up some berries. Which are one of the best ways to just have some random bits of energy going forward, and also additional nature points. Also, we can dig these out to get a few more resources. Some more industry and some metal scraps. I shall be named Wilson. His name's Jerry. Alright, that gives us 15. What we're actually trying to get to at this point is to build up a smelter. We're going to need... What do we actually need for that? We probably need to get to woodworking, actually. That's probably our next goal. Worth grabbing some more wood at this point? Probably. It's always worth having more wood. You need wood for everything you do in this game, pretty much. Okay, let's just see our resources. What can we actually build here? Sawhorse we already have. Don't we need to build a stockpile? We do want to build ourselves a furnace, so we're going to need some more stone. So that's what I think we'll try and make sure we get what we get now. Should also give us enough points to just get there. Or Jerry. Use technology to open that up, but we can go and do this as well. Do we have enough for one more? Maybe. Just about. Alright. So that's our energy well used up at this point. We can also then get the furnace built. So we're going to get that. I suppose we put that there. We can expand the yard and get some more space, but for now, we're just going to go and rest. No bell. We'll hear a bell when the corpse gets dropped off, and it usually happens at dusk. This time we will fully rest and just go around in the middle.